Hello to everyone. I welcome you all on Abhipedia Defense YouTube channel. And today we have a very important special session because recently what we have seen is कि CDS2 2021 का final result आया है. And जैसा कि a lot of students they have seen their name in the ultimate merit list. और उसी category में है हमारे साथ स्वास्तिक शर्मा. And इनका जो rank है that is rank 35. And इनको जो मिली है that is Indian Military Academy, the prestigious defense academy. So हम लोग इनके साथ बहुत अच्छे से we'll be having a very comprehensive discussion जिसमें he'll be telling about his strategy of CDS exam, how he cleared CDS exam, SSB का पहले experience कैसा रहा है, and a lot of things. तो first of all, congratulations Swastik.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Swastik, सबसे पहले my first question to you is, tell me something about yourself.
So as you rightly told, my name is Swastik, and I originally belong to Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh, and but I currently live in Chandigarh. So my father, Mr. Tilak Raj Sharma, he's the Additional Director in Industries Department, Himachal Pradesh Government, and he resides in Shimla. And so my mother, Mrs. Kavita Sharma, she's a teacher in Government Model Senior Secondary School, Sector 19, Chandigarh. And I have a younger sibling as well. Her name is Nandini Sharma, and she studies in class 9. She's in Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School. I have done my schooling from St. John's High School in Chandigarh, sir, and then till class 10. After class 10th, I joined Shamrock Senior Secondary School, did my plus 1 plus 2 from there, and I'm currently a final year student in Khalsa College, and I'm pursuing Bachelor of Arts with History, Political Science, and Sociology as my subject.
Okay.
And I have always aspired to join the defense services, so that was my aim, and so I have achieved it now, sir.
Okay, okay. So Swastik, first point is कि आपके father he is not from the defense forces, आपकी mother भी नहीं है. तो आपके दिल दिमाग में ये जो फौज का भूत था, ये कब आपको realize हुआ कि नहीं, this is something that I really want to go for it, है ना? तो वो भूत कब आपको realization हुआ and when you started for this working passion? हाँ जी.
So actually, as I told you, I'm from Himachal Pradesh. So in Himachal Pradesh, a lot of people join the armed forces, like for bhartis and all. And people run a lot in the morning, in the evening, so that they could just join as a Jawan. So I was very new to the concept of armed forces because I was not getting much exposure. But then I got a chance when there were NCC trials being held in my school. And I thought I'm a fit candidate. I used to play football a lot. So I thought, let's give it a try. Luck has it, I got selected. And then 2 years training at NCC in my school, I got the exposure I required. I went to military camps, went to Ropar, shooting camps. I met officers in the uniform. And I was charmed by the olive green which they used to wear with berets and all. It was very fascinating for me. And I'm a sports person, sir, so I always felt that my career has to have sports, adventures, and it has to be dynamic, not a very static job. So I think the only career I could think of at that time was defense, and I had made up my mind that whatsoever be the case, I would join the defense services. So that was my starting point, and then I worked towards.
Okay, good. And very well said that you belong to Himachal Pradesh. Same case with me. I also belong to Himachal Pradesh, and what I have seen is that वहाँ पे they have only one or two options, right? या तो वो
Yes.
कहीं दिल्ली वगैरह चले जाएं for a job purpose, yes, whatever it is. But second all option would be to join the defense forces. चाहे वो at a सिपाही level है या officer level है. Officer level is very limited one, but सिपाही level पे they go and they hustle a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So अब you prepared for the NDA also? You given for the NDA exam also?
Yes, sir. I cleared the NDA exam, but I could not clear the interview back then. But I prepared for the NDA as well, and
अच्छा.
along with that, I prepared for tech entry as well. So these two SSBs were together.
ओके ओके. तो 11th 12th में आपने साइंस लिया होगा, यू
Yes, sir.
नॉन मेडिकल. ओके.
Yes, sir.
So Swastik, it is very risky step to take, right? आपने Bachelor of Arts ले लिया after your graduation, after your +1 +2 science background. So आपने ये decision कैसे ले लिया और अपने parents को convince कैसे कर लिया?
Sir, I always had in my mind that I have to join the defense services. But as we know, sir, it's a very dicey project. We never know if you want to make it or not. So as a backup career option, I was preparing for CAC as well. So I thought I should take BA. The subjects would be in line with my optional subjects, and I think it would help me a lot. So with that logic, I chose BA. And my parents are really supportive since childhood. They have always supported me, and they think that I know what I have to do better for myself. So I decided, I thought a lot, and then I finalized that I should do BA. And I was confident that I would be able to, if I prepare for CSC, then I would be able to clear CDS examination as well. So that's why I started. I took BA. I was confident, and that's the reason.
Okay, okay. So what was your strategy for this CDS exam?
The CDS examination is divided into three broad topics as we see. One is the mathematics part, the second is the GK, and third is the English along with science questions. So I was good in GK because I was preparing for CSE for 2 years. So I had been regularly studying books. But I was not very strong at math because CSE math is not given much focus. So I had to prepare differently for math. So I like bought some books, R.S. Agrawal for arithmetics, and some other authors just to practice, take mocks accordingly. And I had noted on all the chapters which have more weightage. For example, algebra has a lot of weightage, trigonometry has a lot of weightage, and I worked accordingly. And the thing is, still 20 marks is the cutoff for math. So I had in my mind that I would cover up in the GA section. I have to just score 40 marks. That would be sufficiently good for me to get in the merit. So I scored 45 around marks. I attempted only 55, 60 odd questions, and you get 0.8 marks for every correct answer. So I got 40, around 40 marks in math. So the only strategy was to practice, practice, practice. And when you're done with practice, follow the mocks along with it. And for GS, current has a lot of weightage in CDS. In fact, in every UPS exam, current affairs are a very important role. So for that, I used to refer to usually magazines or online. Also, YouTube also has a lot of areas which you can easily look, and was regularly updating my GK, especially current affairs. And for history, political science, the material provided by Abhimanyu was sufficient. I just revised that thoroughly well, and question booklets were also there with me of Abhimanyu. So I think that was sufficient for me to clear the CDS written examination. I have scored approximately 145 marks in the CDS examination. So I think this, along with mock practice, that was sufficient.
Okay, and what about your paper, English paper? What about your English paper?
Well, sir, I did not prepare specifically for English. I'm good in English, so I just took mocks accordingly. So in mocks only, I think I was able to practice English, and some topics which I think I was weak in, for example, idioms and proverbs. For that, I refer to the booklet given by Wikipedia. That was sufficient.
Okay, and how much time you devoted for specifically for CDS exam? Like there was different strategy for civil services and CDS, or you thought ki let's do civil services preparation and I'll give the CDS and I'll crack it.
So the GS section was constant with the CS one. But I thought if I'm doing GS section, then easily CDS would be done. So I did not pay much attention to that. But I had to revise current affairs because I am not eligible to give CSC right now. I'm only 20 years old.
Okay.
So I had in mind that I won't give the CSC in June. It would be next year in June. So I thought I still have time in my hand. So I just started 2 months prior to the examination. I started devoting 2 hours extra for CDS examination. For example, as I told you, current affairs, maths, and sometimes English. And in GK also, you have a lot of subjects: geography, political science, history. So just to revise a bit. So that was sufficient. I was able to cope up with my CS studies only.
Okay. Now come to your SSB experiences. This was your third SSB, right? After
Yes,
clearing
sir.
CDS, you were going for the third attempt in the SSB. तो पहले
Yes.
दो attempts में what actually happened and कैसे you try to understand कि यार this is something that is missing. I have to improve it. ऐसा कुछ लगा?
Yes, sir. In my first two attempts, sir, the first attempt was NDA. I went to Dehradun for my FSB. And I think I was underprepared that time. I think this advice which was given to me at that time was sort of not correct. Also, I was a little bit overconfident in my approach. I thought I am from Chandigarh, so obviously I have better education than most of the candidates there. So I think that resulted in my downfall in my both attempts because they were consecutively. So I did not had time to change my strategy. And rest, I think I should have practiced more on my psychological part, they have three parts of SSB: the psychological test, the group task, and the personal interview. So the psych test, which I felt was little weaker and did not practice much, so I was not able to complete also that in time in the interview. I think that was the reason for the first two times I was not able to make it. Then on, then I started to improve. Then I started noted everything which had been done there in my SSB, and then I constantly improved on that. I took note of time, practiced with time, and for I also remained humble and also took advice from different people. I went to Olive Green, as an institute in Chandigarh, for a 2 week program, and got to know what you have to. I got the path, and just I practiced according to that after my written examination. 3 4 months I was just brushing up my current affairs regularly, and I was speaking in front of the mirror, speaking in front of my family members on different topics, geopolitical topics about COVID, Russia, Ukraine, anything which came to news. I just prepared it and I spoke in front of them. It gave me confidence as well as it brushed up my knowledge in the interview, which questions were asked about the current affairs in my interview, and I was able to answer them very confidently. So I think that helped my cause. That's why I was able to get selected for Air Force as well as Army.
Okay. Uh, I would ask you one another question that koi aisi 5 tips that you would like to give to the aspirants who are going to appear for their upcoming SSB. Any five, six, three, four, five, any? Yes.
The first tip I think I would give it to never underestimate the system or the people who are there with you. Even if you are the best in the best, you are a national champion, world champion, everyone there is equal. So you should not feel little privileged or underconfident. Okay, that people are better than you. You have an equal chance there. Even if you don't belong to a very wealthy background or you don't have a very good education, you still, if you are true to yourself, you have practiced hard, you can easily make it. I have seen people who belong to very average, very middle class background who don't even can speak English very properly in the interview. But because they had the spirit, they had the confidence, they were able to clear along with me. So I think that's very important. The second advice, please start speaking English regularly. English is one such thing. If you don't know the English, it would be a big setback for you, and your chances of getting selected reduce constantly because English is a language which armed forces uses, and they cannot compromise on that. In CSA, it's possible you can give your interview in Hindi, but here in the defense services, English is an important part. So please keep improving your English. It would give you confidence as well, and you will be able to speak your thoughts also clearly. You will be able to articulate your thoughts better. The third I would be giving is please do sports, yoga activities, or some recreational activities along with your studies. I think this is a very important aspect. A lot of candidates misses that we'll give dedicated 2 hours, the whole day they are studying, not moving out of the house, not interacting with people. I think that is very important because you have to slow down the system as well to get him. Like otherwise, you will not be able to remember what you are studying in the morning. So go for a jog in the evening, or do yoga. Go out with your friends. It helps you relax as well as it gives you a sense of confidence and that yeah, my friends are there for me. It helps you concentrate better and gives a holistic personality look, which is what the armed forces look. They don't want a studious candidate in their defense services. They want a person who can study as well, who can play sports as well, who can talk to people. There are a lot of aspects in the personality which they look for. So you should talk regularly to your friends, people, or your neighbors. You should be in touch with them. The last advice which I would give is please read the newspapers very well. I think this is a very basic, but still many candidates forget this. Please keep reading newspapers as much as you can because it gives you knowledge about what's happening in our country and as well as the geopolitical issues, which would be asked anywhere. If you go to CS interview, they would ask the same thing. If you go to defense services or any, in fact, banking also. Current affairs is such thing if that if you know, you have an edge over others when you speak. It gives you confidence, gives you knowledge and materials when you're speaking. There's a part of the group task software which we call lecture. So in that lecture, you get 4 topics and you have to choose one topic and speak on that for 3 minutes. So the topic which I got was Doklam issue, the string of pearls of China, and made in India. So these topics were, if you know about them, if you have read the newspaper, you can quote some data, you can quote some recent happenings or proceedings that have been done in that. So it gives a better, it creates a better impression on the group task officer, and he might give you better marks, and you will be high on it. So these 4 are the basic points. Rest, I think it's a very subjective topic because SSB interview is very personal. These 4, I think, are the broad points which the candidates must look at.
Okay, right. अब now I would like to ask you कि कैसा वो feeling था यार कि तीन एसएसबी जा रहा हूँ, है ना, उसके बाद आई हैव गिवन द एग्जाम आल्सो, सीडीएसबी अब क्या पता दोबारा देना पड़े, एंड आगे का फ्यूचर इज अनसर्टेन, राइट? बट वंस यू गेट दैट रिकमेंडेशन, तो वो कैसा फीलिंग होती है कि, एंड वेरी फ्यू गेट दैट फीलिंग, राइट? तो
Yes.
what was your feeling that time after recommendation?
Uh, I was very hopeful that I had performed well, so I was little like, okay, I can get recommended this time. I did not have this feeling when I went for the SSB previous time. And actually, my interview was on 29 March, and I got the result on 2nd April. And 10th April was the next CDS. So if I did not get selected, then I had to prepare for the next CDS as well in matter of only 1 week. So there's a lot of pressure also in my mind that what will happen, would I get selected or not? There were a lot of expectations, and the person who reads the result, he just comes out and he takes the name. We have test numbers. We don't get names actually. We
Yes,
have
yes,
test
yes.
numbers. So my test number was 16. We have a total of 20. 55 people reported and only 20 were screened in on the first day, and 4 got recommended. So started taking names, test number 4, test number 10, 12, and then he stopped, and then he took my test number name 16. So first of all, I did not understand what had happened because there were so many emotions going on in my head. It was a very surreal feeling. For 5-10 minutes, I was just absorbing it. Then I met the president of the board. He congratulated all of us. Then I spoke to my parents, and then I realized that I have finally cracked it. And it was, I think, the result of my hard work, my parents' hard work, and blessings of all my friends and family members. It was a very surreal feeling. And then I got recommended in Air Force, which I was not expecting. I think I did not perform as per my level, but fortunately I got selected there as well. So the second time it was not as much exciting as the first time, but
Okay. Swastik, now the next step would be medicals, right?
yes,
तो
sir.
I've seen people जिनको permanent rejection मिल जाता है medicals में, तो
Yes, sir.
now did you prepare for the medicals mentally, physically, ऐसा कुछ था, या just जैसे जा रहा था वैसे ही चल रहा था जिस हिसाब से whatever the process was?
I know I was like there are some things which you know that you have problems. For example, you have bow legs or knock knees, flat foot. These are some things which you can see, you check yourself. So I was confident about them, but I did not know what was inside me because I had never done a medical test before. So I think many people do medicals beforehand also to be sure that they are medically fit or not. But I think it's basically pure luck. If you have it, then you have it. Otherwise, you don't have it. And armed forces is very particular about medicals. They do a very subjective medical test. I was taken to the command hospital of Air Force in Bangalore, and it was a 7-day medical which took place. And every part of the body was checked thoroughly. Blood tests were done, ECGs were done, and then finally, so I think people usually know what kind of problem they have. If some people had knock knees, some people had flat foot, so you get a temporary rejection for that, off for everything, and then you have 42 days to apply again for a reappear medical board. So luckily, I got medically fit in my first attempt, but some of my friends who could not get it, then they went to civil doctors and got it checked. Then the physiotherapy or through some other procedures, they got it rectified, and they also now got selected. So I think you should be knowing. People usually know about the medical standards, and you don't need to prepare any specifically for them.
Hmm. Okay, so you'll be going in the Indian Military Academy very soon, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
ओके, तो आफ्टर आईएमए ट्रेनिंग आपको क्या लगता है वेयर यू आर एस्पायरिंग टू गो फॉर, विच बटालियन, या कुछ प्लान्स हैं आपके? आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ बात होती होगी जो रिकमेंड हो चुके हैं, जिनका नाम आ चुका है, तो वो बोलते होंगे यार हम तो सीधा पैराएसएफ में जाएंगे या
Yes, sir.
इन्फेंट्री ज्वाइन कर लेंगे, तो ऐसी कुछ कॉन्वर्सेशन होती है?
Yes, sir. Just recently, Kali, we had a conversation. There were a lot of para-opties who were like, we have to go to parasif. Some were like, we have to go to infantry. Some are like, no, RT is good. Artillery is fine with us. But I personally want to join the Army Aviation because I always wanted to fly. That was my dream. So that's why I cleared Air Force also, because I was hoping that I become a pilot there also. But Army also has Army Aviation. So my first priority would be Army Aviation. Second priority, I am thinking of artillery. I think artillery is going to be the next big thing in the coming 10 to 15 years, because I know for a fact that DRDO and HAL are planning a lot of artillery guns for India. Dhanush, OSP Dhanush is under use, and more procurements have been done from countries. And I think in the coming 5 to 10 years, artillery would play an important part. My third choice would be armored. I think I have a lot of seniors who are currently serving in the Indian Army, and they are from armored. So they have told me how tanks are also a game changer in any war. So I think I'm very fascinated by that also. So that would be my third choice.
ओके ग्रेट सो पूरा जो कॉन्वर्सेशन है इसको हम लोग सम अप कर देते हैं दैट कि अल्टीमेटली यू गेट योर सक्सेस ऑब्वियसली यू वर्क हार्ड एंड यू एक्चुअली वर्कड हार्ड एंड यू अपेयर्ड फॉर द एनडीए वहां पे नहीं हुआ कॉन्फ्रेंस आउट हो गए फिर उसके बाद दोबारा से एसएसबी जाके कॉन्फ्रेंस आउट होना तो फिर थर्ड ट्राई देना राइट तो यू इम्प्रूव्ड अ लॉट एंड अल्टीमेटली आपने आपको जो मिलना था वो मिल ही गया है
Yes.
मैं इसमें आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूँ या आप स्टूडेंट्स को बोल सकते हो कि जैसे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जो रिटन एग्जाम दे रहे हैं ठीक है रिटन उनका हो जा रहा है क्वालिफाई कर रहे हैं दे अपियर फॉर द एसएसबी फिर एसएसबी में रह जाते हैं तो इस पूरी प्रोसेस के दौरान बिकॉज दिस इज अ टाइम वेयर uncertainty is a major plays a major factor right तो वहां पे बिकॉज यू वर ऑल्सो वेरी अनसर्टेन कि यार मैं बीए रख रहा हूँ सिविल सर्विसेज मेरा ऑप्शन है इसमें नहीं हुआ उसमें देख लेंगे बट पूरी प्रोसेस के दौरान कैसे अपने आप को बूस्ट करना मोटिवेट करना मेक श्योर करना दैट आई हैव टू फॉलो दिस पाथ राइट इवन इफ इट इज फुल ऑफ रिस्क फुल ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी तो वो आपकी कैटेगरी के स्टूडेंट्स बहुत सारे हैं सो आप उन स्टूडेंट्स को कैसे एड्रेस कर रहे हो right?
I think it's just pure motivation. I always have a picture of the Indian Army in front of me, and I have people of, wearing the uniform. 3, 4 different pictures of Indian Army, Indian Air Force pilots are always in front of my study table. Whenever I sit back to study, I just look at them and have to feel that yes, that's what I want, and that gives me the motivation. And I know, like many a times, you'll be thinking, oh yeah, my friends are doing BTech, they're enjoying their life, they don't have any pressure of job, they'll some get somewhere in life. But even if you are doing BA, I think you will get through somewhere or somewhere. Like I have seen so many people who have tried 8, 9 times for NDA, then for CDS, they still don't make through. But they're very good in their businesses. They start running their own businesses. They do well in life also. Some have cleared SSBs in 22nd, 23rd attempts as well. They're also officers in the Indian Army. So it's just about time. Everyone has its own success time. I think when you follow the process, and I think you should enjoy the process. That there's risk in it. That what makes it more interesting. Okay, there is risk. I'm doing something which has risk in it. So like it gives thrill to me when I was studying or when I was preparing. That okay, this is a very risky thing I can do. So when you achieve it, this that sweet of success is very more. I think it intensifies a lot. And motivation, I think it's just pure. You know that you have to earn that uniform. It's not that you are going through someone help or you are just requesting someone and they're taking. It's a very long, prolonged procedure, and it has checks and balances. So you know that you are worthy. That's why you're there. So that's why I always put of the photo of your parents and what you want to do in your life in front of yourself. If you want to be join CAC, you want to be a civil servant, to have a picture of your civil servant idols who you think that hey, they have done well in their life. Have picture of them. It gives you motivation. Always gives, it initiates a drive inside to study more, work hard, and achieve that. So that's what I want to say to every candidate who's preparing.
Absolutely perfect. And ultimately, Swastik जाने वाला है as a gentleman cadet in the Indian
Yes,
Military Academy. And जैसे उनको commissioning मिल जाएगा, then again we'll be having a session with Swastik. And
yes, sure.
it full of motivation, जोश वाला session रहा है ये. So I once again congratulate to you and do
Thank you,
well.
thank you,
Best wishes from Abhipedia as well as from the Abhimanyu. Right? Thank you.
thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swastik. Thank you.